Good evening, I'm Nicole Garza. Fox 34 has covered an array of interesting stories this year, and from triumph to tragedy, we'll recap them now. Here's a look at the top 20 stories of 2011.
What happened to Haley Dunn? That question on the minds of many at the start of 2011. All areas of law enforcement assisted in the Colorado City investigation as volunteers searched. In March, Haley's mother, Billy Dunn, was arrested and sentenced for lying to a police officer. Her boyfriend, Sean Atkins, remains the only person of interest to this day. Meanwhile, a similar situation arises in Lubbock as the community learns of Elizabeth Ennin, a Monterey High School student who disappeared after a night of babysitting. Her body was later discovered in a field near Shallowater. A suspect, Humberto Salinas, was indicted on capital murder and aggravated kidnapping charges. Khalid Aldazari indicted on one count of attempted use of a weapon of mass destruction. FBI agents arrested the suspect in February. Investigators report the Saudi-born student purchased chemicals and equipment to make an explosive device and researched potential U.S. targets. His trial has been pushed back to this May. A so-called tent city for Lubbock's homeless moved from its original Broadway and Avenue Q location to a lot owned by Link Ministries at 13th and Avenue A. A few months later, a dispute over zoning of the property that led to a vote by City Council, allowing Tent City to stay. A series of wildfires ravish West Texas. Residents of Matador asked to evacuate while an estimated 40,000 acres burned in Motley County.
We really do feel lucky.
About 14 area fire departments rushed to aid. Texas Tech welcomes Billy Gillespie to its athletics staff, naming him the head men's basketball coach. The FAA suspends 2 Lubbock International Airport air traffic controllers for being unresponsive during a midnight shift on March 29th. Meanwhile, suspensions in other parts of the country were said to have happened after air traffic controllers were sleeping on the job. 32-year-old George Bradley taken down by police for holding staffers hostage at Rise Academy Charter School. This just minutes after he allegedly lit his own mother on fire at a nearby apartment complex. Bertha Bradley died after suffering third-degree burns from the waist up. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms feels the burn, accidentally setting fire to private land in Motley County. The ATF conducting field exercises with explosives while the area was under a burn ban.
That bunch had a real corner on stupid.
The bodies of a mother and son found 2 days apart in Lubbock County near Idalou. Derek Ryan Hale and Joni Parker, the victims. Sheriff's investigators named Casey and Meredith Ledbetter suspects in the case. A robbery gone wrong, the motive. Texas A&M makes its decision, a split from the dwindling Big 12 Conference and on to the Southeast Conference. The city manager proposes a budget-cutting plan to reduce staff, outsource clinical services, and close the current health department building. Public outcry and resolutions by the Board of Health leads to talks of a joint city-county health department. The need for such a service evident after a hepatitis A scare at Cheddar's restaurant. An employee was diagnosed with the virus, and those who ate at Cheddar's during a certain time frame were urged by the city to get vaccinated just in case. Texas Tech announces its record fall enrollment, more than 32,000 students. This includes record-breaking numbers for minority enrollment. October 17th, Lubbock skies turn from clear to dense brown as this incredible dust storm, the Great Haboob, rolls in. The publicly admired Judge Rusty Ladd killed in a traffic crash the last day in September. Attorney Mark Hawker appointed to take over his County Court of Law No. 1 seat. Lubbock ISD trustees vote to join a lawsuit challenging the equity of the state school finance system. The school district suffered the effects of a $15 billion state budget shortfall. Administrators cut 87 jobs, reducing personnel costs by about $3.5 million. Trustees also approved the consolidation of 3 schools, a measure predicted to save $4 million. The Texas Tech Red Raiders suffer their first losing season since 1992, finishing off the season without a bowl game and a 5-game losing streak. This after the Raiders stump Oklahoma, ending the Sooners' 39 home game winning streak. About 200 dogs seized by the sheriff's office from Alpha Tex Kennels because of an animal welfare complaint. Now the owners of that business are suing various parties involved. the case on hold until a trial on the animal cruelty allegation is over. An employee of One Guy from Italy restaurant shot and killed on the job. 2 suspects in custody on murder charges. Brian Suniga and Cecilio Lopez accused of killing David Rouser during a robbery. The pair arrested about 24 hours after the crimes were committed. Lubbock police credit Crime Line and witness cooperation.
Wishing you a great 2012, I'm Nicole Garza.